Welcome to the Story of Us podcast. Today we are diving into the automobile industry. It is no question that the growing number of automobiles has taken hold in our country. The status, precision, and versatility of automobiles and transportation has led to a greater accumulation of these cars in our everyday lives. Here to discuss the revolutionary workplace conditions and give us an inside look as to how these vehicles are manufactured is an actual employee of the Ford Motor Company in Dearborn, Michigan, Robert Williams.
Hello, Priscilla. It's great to be here. I almost didn't make it in this morning.
Well, I'm very glad that you could join us.
Me too. I just flew in from Michigan, and boy are my arms tired.
Good one, Robert. How about we just get started? For the few people who don't own these luxurious cars, can you describe the basic qualities that make the Model T so popular?
The Model T was created by my boss, Henry Ford, in 1928 with the hopes of creating a vehicle that could be used for all people. It is practical unlike the jalopies made by Cadillac, and prized for its low cost, durability, and easy maintenance. This car includes many features such as a crank to start, or for a small price of $75, an electric car starter will be added. The Model T has a 3-point suspension system that can handle the roughest roads, a lovely 4-cylinder engine that puts out 20 horses of power and can hit a max speed of 45 miles per hour. The 10-gallon fuel tank is conveniently located underneath our comfortable seats. Our Model T is truly unbeatable.
Yeah, that does sound unbeatable. What materials are your cars made of?
Our vehicles are made with the top-of-the-line vanadium steel. In our newer car, the Model A, we have also equipped the driver with a durable glass windshield that ensures their safety.
Now, I know that the assembly line plays a major role in the manufacture of the vehicles at Ford Motor Company. Do you think you can describe exactly what this process is and how it has impacted your workforce?
The assembly line has become an essential component to our business. Instead of multiple people working on one car each and completing it by themselves, one person in the line is assigned a simple task and completes it for each car being made. If I'm assigned with bolting the steering wheel to the inside of the car, then I will bolt the steering wheel of every car that passes through the assembly line. This speedy manufacturing method has increased our production and in turn made cars more affordable. At the start of manufacturing in 1908, the Model T cost $850. But now, because of the enormous amounts of cars made each day, the price has dropped to less than $300.
Continue with this podcast right after a quick ad presented by Waters Genter Company.
Have you ever wanted to enjoy toast with your breakfast, but hate going through the process of burning each side? Worry no more. Just go down to your local appliance store and buy the new Pop-Up Toaster, created by Charles Perkins Strite. The pop-up toaster simultaneously toasts both sides of your bread, and then automatically turns itself off when it's done. Brought to you by Waters Genter Company. Go get your Toastmaster today.
Describe your work schedule. Do you ever feel overworked?
Well, I work 8-hour days, 5 days a week. Not at all. 40-hour weeks are less hours than I've ever worked in my life. We get time off on the weekends and on holidays too, which is great.
How are the working conditions at the Ford Motor Company? How have your working conditions improved over the years?
Our working conditions compared to the other factories are great. At Ford Motor Company, we are loyal, efficient, very organized, and looked after by our supervisors. And with our wages and work hours, no one ever calls out sick or quits without notice. We run a pretty tight ship.
How much money do you make? Do you think that you are earning fair wages?
I think my wages are more than fair. Since 1914, workers of the Ford Motor Company have earned $5 a day, which is double the rate of normal factory workers. After the $5 a day was announced, thousands of people lined up around the building to get a job here, and the generous wages have really helped lower the turnover rate.
How do you feel about your boss, Henry Ford? Do you think he does a good job adhering to the needs of his workers and his customers?
I give a lot of credit to my boss. He has completely transformed the landscape of labor and has opened the doors to mass manufacturing. With the rise of immigration, Henry Ford has provided hundreds of jobs to immigrants from the least industrialized countries that weren't able to perform specialized jobs. And now, with the help of the assembly line, we are producing enough cars to supply the country.
How do you feel your company promotes mass consumerism?
Seeing as it is now the 1920s, our country is more fast-paced and we constantly need to be a part of the next big thing. We are living in prosperous times where we can buy all sorts of new appliances and even purchase things on credit. The Ford Motor Company is really embracing the new ways of consumerism, and we are doing our part in producing reliable forms of transportation that everyone should have.
Well, Robert, it has been a pleasure having you today. I know our listeners are now even more eager to get their hands on a Model T.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And for our listeners, tune in again next week to our podcast, The Story of Us, where we will examine Henry Ford's standpoints on diversity in the workplace.